What's going on, guys? Joey here. I am here with Big Body and the boy Elliot Sykes. Say what's up, fellas.
What's up?
Elliot is I actually first met Elliot in was it at Worlds? It was in
I
Mesa,
think
right?
that's the first time. I think that's the first time we met. Yeah,
Yeah, and like
I
I
know.
I literally like never met you. I didn't really know much about you, but like just interacting with you, you were just like cool people, and I know you hung out with Chris a bunch during that trip, and you guys had a good time. That was actually a crazy world. Like the location, the
Dude, it
everything
was
about it.
nice.
It was the best. It was like I've been to Malta twice now, and I don't know what it is. It's like everybody there's chill. They're just everybody's like on vacation or like retired. You're just surrounded by water and there's just no stress. It's the best. It's like it was such a cool experience. There's always shit going on at night. But yeah, Elliot was there. He popped off. How would you say you did at that meet? I didn't actually analyze it, but I know you won.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say like if we're going by like competition, I did fairly well. I I went 6 for 9, so like in terms of like execution, maybe maybe not the greatest. But like my coach, like if I had done what my coach had told me and like gone for the attempts he had wanted, like I probably would have gone 9 for 9 and probably I think gotten that junior record total. But like
Uh-huh.
I really wanted to try for that open worlds record squat, so I took 295 as my second when it was my all-time PR because I was like, well, if it moves fast enough, because I had moved 290 like a week ago, like a week before comp, pretty fast,
Uh-huh.
then
Uh-huh.
I'll just say screw it and jump the whole 15 or at the time like 16 keys.
And how old were you at that meet?
Obviously, I was 18 at that meet.
So you are
Um,
still a sub junior or junior?
no, I'm
19?
a This is my
Okay.
first year as a junior.
Okay, sounds
I
good.
have a question. So I remember a couple months ago we had a conversation about coaches and athletes and the conversation regarding like, well, it's the athlete, it's their meet, and ultimately they have the final say. And we had some disagreements about that, which disagreements is a totally fine. Like
Yeah, I
it's
obviously
like not the
nobody's in
end of the
that way.
world.
Yeah.
If you disagree on something, be like, okay, no problem. My question is, I have a question for you, Elliot. In that moment, not sure who you were working with, who were your handlers, but had your leading handler explain to you, your coach set this plan, here's why, and then here's why taking 295 for your second is a bad idea, right? Had they explained to you, would that have possibly changed the way you went? Like literally, if they made sense, they're like, I know that you want this world record squat, but here's why, like very, very high probability chance. It's not about not believing in you, but it's about why this is not here today. Would that have changed your mind, or would you just be like, I don't care, I'm going for it no matter what?
So this is the way I view it. If I was in like a close battle, I probably would have never done that. Um, the way I viewed it, if I hit my openers, I was clear in terms of like
You win.
competition in that way. So I would feel bad if I hadn't gone for it. Because like if it was like a close one-on-one battle, then I would have been like, I mean, I knew it wasn't the smartest idea in the first place. But I figured if I'm gonna win on my openers and I'm gonna break the squat world record anyways,
What do you have to lose?
why not just go
Yeah,
for it? You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not like I'm losing anything. It's not like it's my last year competing. It's not like I'm old and I'm not gonna get those many chances again. I'm pretty confident I'm gonna be able to get to junior worlds, if not this year, at some point. Um, so I figured if this is my chance, if I can get it, because I knew like that was not a good squat day for Perk. I know he's gonna send that to orbit by the next time he competed, which he did. He raised it by another like 12 keys. Um, I figure like this could be my only chance to do something that's never been done and like break a
Hmm.
open world record as a sub junior. So if it's there and I'm safe to go for it, just go for it. Um, And I explained that to Adam, and I explained that to the handler, and they were kind of just like, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. But like in terms of like bench, I wanted to go 175, and they're like, that's probably not the smartest idea. Is there anything
Yeah.
special about 175? And I was like, not really. Let's just go 170.5.
It makes
What were your openers? What were, just out of curiosity?
So squat was 275.5, bench was like 157.5, and then deadlift was 285.
I actually I don't know if people know this like about well, Chris, when you asking him that question, where was that coming from? Because for me personally, I'd there will literally be times where I'll be at Worlds or Sheffield, literally like the two big ones, right? And I will be there with Amanda or Russ or somebody. I don't really get a lot of opportunities to do it with Russ or like Keiko because we're always got a battle, right? So like I just have to do what I got to do to win. Or Jesus, for example, where we're in a situation where like, okay, well we won, we're gonna win. I just want to take a shot, or I'm just gonna do it. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Jesus' third deadlift from the first Sheffield. We didn't even have to do that, but we just did it because fuck it, like why
Yeah.
not?
Why
So
not?
to answer you really quickly, I mean it's like it's a given, right? Like we win on openers if we talk about it, right, and we look at the projections, we look at the day, and even in the moment, you're like, no one's gonna beat us off of first attempts. That's fine. It's like you want to send it, you win off of openers, that makes sense. But the question was just coming from like I just wanted to know what his thinking was, and then is he willing to adapt? Obviously, if it's in a close battle, it's gonna be like, brother, we don't want to risk like the priority is to win the world championship.
Yeah.
We don't want to risk that off of a record, right? Um, no, it was just curiosity. Obviously, we know we want lifters to have fun, and we understand what the prioritizations are. And obviously, we speak beforehand, and then coming into the meet, we'll know. When you come into the meet, you should have a plan is set. You know exactly what we're doing,
Yeah.
what we're ready for. Yeah, so yeah, that's
I
what
just
that
think
was.
it's interesting, especially when we're doing a podcast like this, we're just one on one with the lifter, because like lifters and coaches may do things and people have their opinion from the outside looking in, but they don't actually know. Someone might be like, "Oh wow, what a dumb attempt selection," but maybe everything was planned before. Like, bro, we don't care. We're just gonna send it, right? So I just yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, yeah, I figure like I'm not confident enough to think that there's gonna be. I'm honestly probably any other point in my career when I'm able to go in there and just put an opener in and win, right? Like I'm in the juniors now. Like that's big dogs, you know? Like, I mean, we're talking about juniors. You got Joe Bourne's team in the juniors. Obviously not in my weight class, but like that's just perspective. I mean, obviously an outlier, but perspective is to how much of a step up in competition it is. You can't just walk into juniors and do whatever and win, you know? Like, and like obviously it wasn't that way for sub juniors either, but it was a position where it's like, when am I ever gonna get to go to a place where I can set world records and be able to win on openers and be in that comfortable of a position, you know? Like that's not gonna happen many times, if ever,
Do you
Yeah.
you know?
you know when we had Joe on here, he actually said that you are or were I think you are stronger than him when he was your age. That's what he said to us. I don't know if
You know what's
that's
crazy?
accurate. Let me know.
My first nationals, I met him at my age. It was USAPL. I was like 15, and I
Like
forget
four
what
years
total he
ago?
put up.
3 years ago?
Yeah, like 4 years ago around. And I don't even remember what he put up, but I remember this was the last time he was still a teenager, so it was teen nationals. So it was like I've been following him for a very long time. It's so crazy how much he's progressed. Like I remember when he was hitting the numbers that I started hitting, and everyone was just like, he was the first to do it and first to do, you just every TikTok, but when TikTok powerlifting is big, it's not as big anymore. You'd see first 74 teenager, first
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
74 teenager all over his post. You know the whole ordeal. He's nuts, dude. I remember seeing that rise, and now that he's where he is, like honestly, like I have like no surprise in the slightest. He's
Do
so
you
nuts.
feel no, I mean I think I was around during Jesse Norris, so I saw what it was to
Oh,
truly
Jesus
have
Christ.
truly have an outlier, like what an outlier is. So you guys are sort of the next like generation and that next step. So for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, this is bound to happen. I think for kids that are coming in at around the time you are and seeing you guys be so ahead, they're thinking like, I don't even know what kids think, honestly. I wanted to ask you, why do you think youngins are so I don't even know if you've ever done this. I don't actually have an opinion on it. I really don't. I just like I just kind of be doing my thing these days and observing. I'll be observing and nodding my head and stuff. Um why do what do you think it is about like kids posting the age in the like whenever they hit anything? Like I think I've seen 17-year-old hit X weight 474,000 times. Sometimes it's impressive. Sometimes it's not even like I'm like bro I'm like bro that's like 405. You know what I mean? But to be fair, if you're like in high school graduating, 405 might be really good. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
for like a random, football player or something, but yeah, what do you think it is about what do you think it is about kids posting the age, and when should the when do you think, if at all, should it stop? Meaning you're like 27 years old
Yeah, dude.
doing
Seriously,
650
dude.
squat.
When I stopped is when I turned 18. Because I was kind of like, all right, like maybe I should stop. Like sometimes I still post it, but like it used to be like 17 years old, 16 years old, 15 years old, every single post, and I just kind of
Yeah,
hammered it.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I guess I figured like it kind of adds an appeal because like I don't want to say it's a cope, but it almost was. You know what I mean? It's like I know I'm not up there with the open, but I'm only this old. And like uh, in some cases, I think it means something. But I've figured like this is what I've kind of come to realize is like I think training age probably means more, if
Yeah,
anything.
100%.
Like I mean, obviously, there's a level where it's like, if you have the same training age and you're like 20 versus like you're like 39 and like all variables and genetics and everything are the
Yeah, yeah,
same,
yeah.
like you're probably going to progress better as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
But like in most cases in powerlifting, like it's still such an early sport that like you're not really seeing it where all the genetics at the top level are that even that it makes being young makes that big a difference because you have like Megan Scanlon, you have I mean you had Jen Thompson for a while who was breaking the bench world record every single year.
Actually,
Um
actually, I actually think that the girls are
more longevity.
that, and they're like delayed because there's less of them. Although it is getting more abundant, there's a lot more girls that do it. I think we had a meet that was like 50-50 recently, or there was more girls than
Really?
guys. Yeah, I forget which meet it was. It was a state meet or something. But the thing is like also you are more likely. I mean, if you have like girls, it's weird, right? And you guys let me know if I'm crazy on this. And I mean, obviously, you have some girls, they're like really, 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 really feminine, and their body does not want to respond to training. Like it's just really hard for them to build muscle. It's like they just don't. It just they want to be skinny. Like it's just so difficult, right? And then you have some
Want to
girls
or their body doesn't?
like their body doesn't. Like they're
Okay.
trying. They're actually trying. It's just really they're good. They could like progress from where they are to like way better than after that. Like literally like getting a 315 squat or like a 200 bench or like I would say probably like if they're squatting 315, they're probably hitting like 160 to 180 on bench, and then deadlift is around 315 too. But if you look at them, they still look very, feminine. They're not like overly muscular anywhere. Like, but then you have some girls where they just look fucking jacked and they could lift like
Which is
23s,
pretty
right?
sick.
Yeah, and I think for guys, you're gonna get you're gonna get that as well. You're gonna get some guys that like respond really well, but like I've heard people say that Joe doesn't look like Russ, obviously, or even you, right? But he's strong, like, and that's just
Well,
some.
I saw him when I saw him in person at nationals. I was like, okay, he got a little bit of a frame on him, but when you look at him on
Nah,
camera,
bro.
it's like,
It's
oh, you got to
deceiving.
see.
It's deceiving.
It is deceiving. In person, looks like he lifts, but on camera, does not look incredibly
He could
aesthetic.
wear a t-shirt and some sweatpants, and he just looks like a regular dude. You know what I mean? Like he's not.
Yeah.
People are not gonna look at him and be like, "Holy shit!" You know what I mean? Like where
Shit. Yeah. Well, like with Russ, if you.
I forget what meet this was, but me and Russ we just went to get like it was like we went to train in the morning and we went to go eat lunch, and he was just wearing a tank top, and I swear to God, every fucking person that passed by was like saying something, and I was like, and it's I get it, and you would think people just kind of associate that, and I know that's like very genetic. Um, but then you have some people. It's very interesting to me too because powerlifters, they don't necessarily like so many, especially young kids. They want to. I mean, I've seen you do Q&As, and I see the shit kids ask you. It's like they want it like, how do I get aesthetic, and they're like, how are you strong,
Oh,
and like,
Joe. Well, Joe, one thing that I think needs to be said is like I think that's the thing, right? We said that it's deceiving of how Joe Bornstein looks like on camera, but when you see him on person, he does have a good frame that he has built, and he does look like he lifts. And the thing is that so many kids don't get to see him on person. But if you look at someone like Elliot Sykes, Elliot, you actually post a lot of your like physique posts
he
as
just has a
opposed
shirt off
to
deadlifting. Yeah, pretty jacked.
Joe Bornstein doesn't. And so the thing is like for 74, you're actually like quite jacked. You recomped yourself. You're like insane on your diet. You're insane on your macros. You're insane on your regimen. And a lot of kids are not that. And a lot of kids look at
Let's
Bornstein.
talk about
When I
that.
say they're not, when I say that a lot of kids are not that, what I mean is when they see a Bornstein literally doing what like no young 83 has ever done in training, they think that, well, I can get incredibly strong too, and I don't have to be jacked. I don't have to lock in like that, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of kids that I've spoken to that they're like, bro, I won't sleep and I'll still pull up to training and PR. And it's like the thing that's not understood is like, brother, you probably have like really good variables for like days, and then that one day where you had like 2 hours of sleep and you still PR'd. It's like you can pass with situations like that sometimes, but that's not going to be something consistent. Like keep not eating well, keep not getting good sleep. Watch how fucking shitty training is. So the whole point is like, um, you guys set a tone for your younger peers, right? And that's the thing. Like we said, it's deceiving. The way that Borenstein looks when you see him in a singlet, when you see him in his gear, he doesn't look like Russell Orhe, where his chest is bulging out of his shirt, his shoulders, his biceps, his legs. It's a different figure, but he's got great leverages, and he still is in his own right genetically gifted. And then for you, you also don't make sense. Like when I'm like Joe, we talk about this all the time, right? If you talk about the football world or the fighting world or the wrestling world, there's a reason why there's weight classes, right? And if you put me standing next to you in a different sport, we talk about athletic strength, just objectively, it's a different world. But in powerlifting, you're owning me on all levels, right? In linear lifting, right? You're owning me on squat, bench, deadlift, dots, coefficient.
I don't know about bench, bro. I don't know. I'm not quite there on bench, bro.
Pound for pound, I would say you have a good bench. So, anyways, just to finish this off, Joe, I know you got to get a point off. Just to say, I think it's very important for the young listeners to understand, like, hey, first of all, Joe Bornstein and Elliot Sykes are insane about every variable every day for a long period of time and have been doing it from a young age, and they have readily available information like this gentleman here who's been putting shit out for 10 years. Your coaches, your whole team has been putting shit out, and other coaches for years have been putting information out. So now 17, 18, 19-year-olds have so much benefit to this readily available information. So it's all these things combined. And then you get guys that have also genetics like yourself and Borenstein, where you get all that in one bunch and it all comes together and complements each other in that one instance, and boom, you get cases like yourself and Borenstein. So I just want kids to understand the takeaway is like Borenstein does have a lot of muscle on him. It just looks deceiving. Elliot Sykes is jacked and he's insane about his regiment. And you're not going to get to that level without tapping into every variable possible. So,
I think
anyways.
now where the sport is, if it keeps getting more competitive, then yes. And I actually think that I don't know if you noticed this, Elliot, Chris. You guys can let me know this, but I have noticed. So when I was coming up, it was like very sought after. Like IPF World Champion was like the shit, right? Like everybody wanted to do that. There was one federation. We had Candido pumping out videos. There was like this sort of meme, sort of mythic
Oh, what do you
meme.
mean it was? It still is.
Well, let me explain. Well, there's another there's a split
I know
now.
where he's
There's
going.
a split now, and there's a lot of people that like they compete there, and they don't have that ultimate carry at the end of the stick. They just have, dude. I'll never forget how deflating it was after Russ. So there was a split. Russ won nationals, and then it was like when we split, right? So we were just like, okay, so like
Elliot's dying.
so now what? You got $1,000. So what do we do now? Like, bro, I know one of my girls was depressed.
Oh, that was crazy.
She
Win
was
the
like, "What do
national
I
title.
do?"
Here's a rack.
She was like, "There's no worlds now. Like, I just have to wait a whole year. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean?"
I think that
And
sucks.
like, bro, she was like,
Uh,
legitimately like, I had like lost her identity. Like, what do I do with my life, right? But and I think now because and I don't know. I know USAPL is like Pro Series or whatever that is, but now you have like sort of now that there's two categories, it's like the people that want to go to Worlds go here. It's gonna be harder, obviously, but you have like you said earlier, when am I gonna get a chance to take a shot at a world record, right? Or you have this other sort of federation or group that's more, and I don't know if like I'm kind of observing. It's like you have lifters that are okay not being they don't want to be as locked in, and that's fine. I mean, I guess you don't have to be as locked in. If you're not going to be as locked in, then you don't have aspirations of going to like all the way, right? Like you're going to do something, but you're
I
just
want
going
to
to
say
do it
something.
because it's fun, but you're not doing it because you want to like take it all the way. And Elliot, if I had to guess, you're probably somebody that like, bro, if I'm gonna fucking do this, like I'm doing it. I'm doing it all the way.
I figure. I mean, I see a lot of people, and I figure the people who don't compete in the IPF are people who generally like do not want to go to Worlds, and like you said, like aren't going all the way in. And not that there's anything wrong with that, and like
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
just
even
different.
necessarily mean yeah, it doesn't even necessarily mean they're like less dedicated per se, but like they have a lot of other commitments in life and they don't
Yeah,
necessarily have the time to do all that or don't have the want to organize
Yeah.
everything around
Don't
powerlifting,
choose
right?
to.
Like, right, exactly. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I hope at some point, because this isn't like that is an important part of powerlifting, right? Like, same thing with football and wrestling and swimming, all these other sports that you see. Like, you can't just have the Olympians and just have the elite competing,
yeah,
you know? You need the people who just do it for fun. Because, I mean, that's part of why I love the sport is camaraderie and like the friendships you make and the connections you make, and I think that's a huge part of powerlifting that uh and just sports in general. So I hope at some point the IPF continues to develop in the way it has been on like the local level in powerlifting America, and more people go. And I think honestly for a lot of people too, even some people who are at the world level and just choose not to go, because there are some people like that, you
oh,
know,
believe me,
like.
I have recently dealt with something, but it was
but
very. Go ahead, go ahead.
frustrating.
I mean,
Um,
I
Go ahead.
I am not someone that okay. With my abilities, I think that if if a Jimmy Johnson that doesn't want to go to be the best that they can be, right? They don't need me. You know what I mean? They don't need me. Um,
Fair.
if they just want to get better and they're really passionate about getting better and they have the desire and the will to show up every day and try to get better, I could deal with that. I could work with that. But they don't like you have if you have this like supercharged, like car or device and you're only ever going to take it to 50%, you probably don't need me. You could go like literally fucking anywhere or like ask AI to do it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I just
You
do
know what I'm
it.
saying?
Yeah.
But if you have, I want to make this a goal of mine. I have goals and dreams and aspirations. I know that in other countries, lifters don't necessarily need to win to get all their stuff paid for. Like you just have to be in the circuit. You have to compete X amount of time. You have to be like like top five or something like that. Top whatever. Represent your country. You have to represent your country. So there's other. It doesn't have to be number one. It has to be you're literally representing your country on that stage, and we think that's important, and you want to secure those benefits, um, and having like maybe their country, for some of them their country pays for me, right? Pays for me to coach them. So like for that, it makes sense, right? Like it makes sense to like utilize the Joey Flex. So like for this example, it is when there is another sort of place for when there's another like sort of way you can do it, and I think this is good. I think we do need. You're right, because like imagine if SBD only sold knee sleeves to like the best people. They actually don't even most people don't even buy them because they get it for free, right? So they wouldn't even be able to. They wouldn't make money because like no one would buy it. So you need everybody else as well, and that's what makes it fun. And I think there's something special about like the girl that's like kind of shy and like she gets into lifting weights and like she starts getting more confidence because she's seeing her body change, she's getting stronger, she's making friends, she loses like 100 pounds or something like or like 50 pounds. I know a couple girls like that, and it completely changes their life through just lifting weights and doing powerlifting, which is like a social not social sport, right? It's social in the gym and when you're training and the like everything you're going through together, but on meet day you gotta do it by yourself, right? Well, you have handlers and stuff and camaraderie in that way, but you're literally like lifting your own weights, doing your own stuff in that regard. So I do think that's really important, and I also think that there is a community aspect, and um, you know, for me, just when I first came in, and I don't want to make this about me, I'm just saying, let me just flip it. Let me just throw myself in the trash can. Let's flip it to you. What made you say, I want to leave USAPL and I want to try to go to the world stage? And then, after making that change, are you happy with making that decision, or do you regret it?
Um. So, I mean, I dropped out of like 2 meets before switching over. So I was signed up for. I missed Open Nationals for a USAPL sign up because it's filled up instantly because
Oh
they
yeah, I
didn't
remember
enforce the
that.
qualifying totals. Dude, that made me so mad.
Yeah.
Um, I dropped out of high school nationals because I wanted to focus on school, and I figured like, what's really the point of going to high school nationals? Like, I've been there, I've done that. I know I can win. It's not anything new. It doesn't bring a new level. Then I signed up for this Olympia International competition they did. I dropped out of that because
I
I
don't even know
strained
what
my
that
Yeah.
is.
pec. Dude,
Had a
so
meet at the Olympia.
it was the worst thing ever. Because you got to think, who's going to go to the Olympia Expo
To watch
and look
powerlifting.
at powerlifting instead of bodybuilding? And this was supposed to be like one of their first international meets. Literally, like 3 total lifters internationally signed up. And the original DOTS qualifying total was like 500. And I was like, man, I feel elite. I feel like there's a standard here that I'm one of the only people that can get into it. They completely dropped any form of qualifying total
Oh
or
my God.
formula. Because no one signed up, and it was in a tiny corner in the venue that no one could see. So I'm really glad I dropped out of that. And then after that, I was kind of like, dude, like this isn't going anywhere. USAPL isn't taking the right steps to form into an international federation. And I also saw everyone else switching over. And it kind of was just like, and like, oh, you know what? Really, really, this is funny. Do you guys remember Hamza Demir at all?
Yes.
The 105?
He
Yeah.
became like a mini Andrew Tate.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what he
Exactly
does. I
that.
don't know what he does.
Dude, he like sells drop shipping to I don't even know,
Yeah.
man. But he was getting a ton of attention from like King of the Lifts and all that. He was dotting like 500 as a sub junior. People were like, we've never seen this before. And I was like, what you mean we've never seen this before?
I do that shit every day.
I did that. I did
He
that
said,
when I was
"What you?
16.
Whoa, hold up, hold
But
up."
so like that started frustrating me because King of the List was throwing it around like obviously like no like he's doing his job, like doing what he does, you know, promoting the lifters, you know, building hype. And obviously I think Hamza brought a lot more attention to like the sub junior division overall, and like made it something to watch. But like I was like, man, like I feel like I'm being like out the spotlight. Like I don't get it. Like what am I not doing right? I'm hitting these big numbers and like maybe I'm not competing all the time, but like I'm crushing it,
It
you
was
know?
the
Like
IPF, perhaps.
it was. And so I switched over to the IPF and
And now you're a top boy.
right away there's a difference. My first local meet, SVD reaches out. This wasn't even like on a good day for me. Dude, they go, do you want a free kit for nationals? Yes. Yes. I don't want to use the kit that I have had for like 2 years. Absolutely. I go to high school nationals. My following skyrockets. Never seen anything like that ever. And then obviously after Sub Junior Worlds, it just like my following has more than doubled, like quadrupled since then.
Yep.
The amount
Man,
of people that have
we're about to get hella
yeah,
people signing up for PA.
dude, the amount of attention and eyes that go into the IPF. This is what I realized the difference is. I've been looking at this. So like USAPL, we know has like no international affiliates, right? Like maybe 3, something like that. I don't know, not a lot. The IPL, USBA. I mean, I've never competed or even thought. Yeah, I haven't even thought about competing there because like whatever. But like they have like that's like the biggest like non-stiff bar federation, and they have 29 affiliates. The IPF has 133 international affiliates. That is an insane number compared to those other two. It's not even close.
I don't even know how they did it.
I
don't even know how they did it.
Me neither.
So I got a question. Sorry, phone's going off. So I actually have 2 questions, or 2-part. 1 question, 2-part. So one is, you got junior nationals coming up. First part is, is there any competition that you're eyeing, that you're looking at? And then a second question would be, what's different this year coming into this nationals mindset wise compared to last year when you were coming in?
You know what the difference is. This is the question he knows the answer to.
What are we, 2 weeks out? Two weeks out?
Just about.
I gotta book my stuff.
I think there's competition for sure. Do I still consider myself the favorite? Absolutely. I have the nominated highest total. I think if I have the day I want to have, or the day I need to have, I'm fine. There's Everardo Crispin, who I've had my eye on. You know this. I'm stalking him. He knows it too. I'm making sure he knows I'm watching too. I like every one of his posts, every one of his stories. I be chiming in like, "Yo, nice squat." Like, "Oh, dude, I love those knee sleeves. Man, that was my favorite kit back when it came out." And like stuff like that. Like I make sure he knows I'm watching, and like he's a strong dude. Like no doubt about it. He's a strong dude. I don't know if he's quite as strong as Kerry was saying. he was throwing out some crazy numbers. And I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But regardless, like I got to be on my A game for sure. Like I can't be messing around. You know what I mean? Like there's not going to be any 295.5. Well, equivalent to 295.5 seconds coming in there, you know? Like I'm not going to like put close to my comp best as my second attempt for my squat or my
Right.
personal best. Like that's not going to be something I'm doing. There's also Kane Madison. I mean, he's been looking pretty good. He pulls 315 like nothing. He looks like he could pull 320 on his worst day. Always got to look out for the big deadlifters. That's who I've had my eye on most specifically. It's way different than high school nationals. High school nationals, I was going in there. I was like, I just want to get the highest possible. I mean, obviously, I still want to get the highest possible total because, like, who doesn't? But the way I'm approaching it is going to be so much different. Like, for me, right now, the way I'm viewing it, it's going to be harder to win junior nationals than it is to win worlds, at least in my opinion. Like there's some strong dudes that I see at worlds.
USA makes sense. Dude, I mean, you could argue like I'm thinking for Keiko, like Gustav's really good, and so is Emil, but Gavin was strong too, and so was Petrie. Like
there's an insane bottleneck.
I've always wanted to see you versus Ilya, and then like maybe one day in my dreams we would see you versus Ilya versus Perk.
That would be so great, dude. He needs to not compete equipped. He needs to go raw. I need him we got to get around to the bottleneck conversation at some point because I think that this amount of varied takes on that is so interesting. But yeah, for me, my main goal was junior nationals. Obviously, I'd love to break the 800 kilo barrier, but honestly, like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win. If that means not going for 800 and playing it safe, I'm gonna do it because like ultimately, like for me, like the way I view it, I'm still gonna be 19. I'm still gonna be my first year in junior when I get to Worlds. It's a 3 months difference, right? Like
crazy.
So why would I give that opportunity up? Chasing and like a random number, you know? Like obviously 800 is huge. Like it's a big deal. It's like that number the 74s try to hit. But like,
it'll come.
If I'm gonna hit 800, I'd rather do it at Worlds, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying?
For those, I know Adam is in Australia. Is he gonna come out to this? That's good.
Not to nationals. He's coming to Worlds.
Oh yeah.
Nationals, I'm being handled by Mike Tushira actually, which is really exciting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, I'm so excited. Absolute goat.
Just yes. I'm thinking about this one meet with him and Gibbs. What day are you lifting?
I'm lifting the 31st, so Saturday.
Oh, they have you guys all on the same stuff.
Dude, the flight is
Friday,
huge.
Saturday, Sunday. Yeah.
I'll be there. I'll be there for sure. I'll be observing. I have some girls, and then I have Willow. I'll do Willow on whenever he's going, but yeah, that's gonna be bottleneck. That's gonna be tough too. What made you say I want to do? Like, was your goal to go to Worlds, or was your goal just like I want more competition. I want to go where the best are.
I wanted to break the world record. That's what I wanted to do. Because if you look back at my at my reels from a while ago, dude, I was so mad. I was like raging. I saw I have a lot of Nick Gaines, previous world record holder, absolute beast. Like I don't think any of the other dudes in the 74s touched that world record this year, or at least I don't think they got significantly close to it or over it. So obviously he still holds up with the competition. But I was like, man, I'm tripling this. I made a video. I got 50 keys over it with a squat triple that was a 7. a long pause bench double, and like a deficit pull. And I was like, dude, I want to feel like I set a world record, because like right now I have like the open powerlifting world records, but I want like a book with my name on it saying I hold the world record, Because like if
You
you
want
like
the
say you hold the
glory.
world record to some right, if you say you hold a world record to someone and then you like open up like this long list of a bunch of names and then you have to like sort a bunch of categories and like test it only and all that. It's like I don't really feel like I hold the world record. Like people are like, "Are you in Guinness?" No. Absolutely not.
I get what you're saying. That's exciting, and I think that one thing I like about your personality is that I just don't like. To me, it's like if you're gonna do it and if you can do it at the top level, then why not give it all you got? Why not? Because one thing that literally this what I'm about to say right here, it might sound like cliche or simple or whatever, but I have literally hit forks in the road of my life where I was like, I need to make a decision, and it has like defined my existence or helped me create life-changing future for myself based on this. And it's literally when I'm 40 or 50 or not able to do it, right? For whatever reason, will I be able to live with the fact that I quit now or that I stopped or turn
That's
trajectory now?
sick.
Right?
That's sick.
Literally. I remember
Yeah.
I was 20, bro. I started so late. I was like 23. I think I was 23 or 22. I don't remember. And I probably told this story on my channel a bunch of times. I was I was in my fucking 24-hour fitness like trainer shirt, and I was in the bathroom, and I was like really starting to pick up momentum in powerlifting, and I was like, my dad had told me like I don't want you doing this anymore because like you're gonna hurt yourself, right? And like literally he just did not. Every time we saw him, I don't even know if Chris remembers, but like literally every time we saw him, it was before I like established myself that I was, Joey, right?
He
He
was
was just
concerned about you lifting heavy.
he just like, I don't want you doing it. I don't want you doing it
Yeah.
every time. So
Classic.
imagine your parent
Yeah.
literally like not supporting you in the thing that you do for your life, right? So, and I just was thinking to myself, and I was like, I did this in high school as well. When I finished high school, I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue football, and I was like, would I be okay with myself if that was just it? And I said no, so I went back to community college and I played more football. But it helped me figure out if that was what I wanted to do. And then as I pursued football, I realized I'm really small for what I need to be. I'm smart, but that's only going to get me so far. I was like, I could go into
Mhm.
coaching, I could go into this, I could go into that. Um, but there's a lot of politics involved, and I just felt like the barrier to kind of break through in that regard was difficult, and where I was in my life, it just didn't work out. But for powerlifting, I said, I'm not gonna listen to my dad. I'm gonna go full force into this thing, and I'm gonna give it all that I got because it makes me happy and I enjoy it, and I get fulfillment out of it. And as I started doing that, literally I did it for myself in the beginning. I didn't even think about coaching at all because I had money from other ways. And then as I was doing it, I started to get better, and then people started asking me to help them, and it became my job. And it was just,
Yeah, look at you now.
yeah, and it was like, bro, like I literally, and I think for you, um, I think you're gonna be able to look back and be like, bro, I got into it early. I invested so much in it, and I'm good, and I'm at this top level. And you're kind of fighting and rising with those guys. I think you're gonna be able to look back when you're in the open and be like, bro, I gave that shit everything. Like I don't even know if that's your goal because you haven't said it here, but you're gonna be able to look back and be like, bro, I gave it 100%. I got no regrets. I have. You're gonna grow as a person. You're gonna have more not like so maybe self-worth,
Feel fulfilled.
like I'm proud of what I done, bro. You're gonna be 23,
Yeah.
24 years old. You're gonna be like, I've
Yeah.
traveled all over the world and competed and did
At
cool
such a
shit,
young age.
right? You're gonna
I
have
think
think of like normal kids, and there's nothing wrong being a normal kid. There's nothing wrong being a normal kid. They just go to school. They never go anywhere. They go to college, and then they get a random job, and then that's it. It's like, bro, we're literally like, you're doing something, you know, like you're actually doing
Yeah.
something. It's interesting.
You're
It's
going
it's
after something that you love, and it's important to know. This is not to say like, of course, please understand. Listen to your fathers and your mothers. This is not.
yeah.
This is a rare situation
I'm
where
weird. I'm weird.
sometimes your mother or your father, they may not understand the science or like the application or practicality of just like processes, and in this instance with powerlifting they just see heavyweight, right? Like our mom till this day, like mom thinks I lift heavy, and I'm like, I'm big, and the weight that I'm lifting is not heavy considered for what I should be doing compared to the elite monsters, right? But she just sees heavyweight. She thinks that like, oh, you're gonna break yourself or something, but they don't understand that we have an entire process to this. So that is to be specifically emphasized, that it's not like Joe was saying, oh, I'm not gonna listen to my dad. It was more so, no, this is my passion. He doesn't necessarily understand, and look, it ended up working out. But go back to this point, the main point, which is something that I cannot stand. I cannot stand when an individual has so much potential, and because they see someone like an Elliot Sykes or Joe Borenstein or anyone, right? Uh, Jesus Olivares, they're like, this person is so far ahead, I don't even want to try.
They just give
I
up.
don't even want to try. I just want
A
to. I
hundred
just want to.
percent, bro.
I just want to have fun. I want to be buddy buddy. I want to be nice, whatever. And there's something, Elliot, I saw in your story the other day that I couldn't agree more with, which was, you were saying, you were pretty much saying, screw all this find my inner peace stuff. And I'm just, it's just me versus me, and I, have, like, no, man, you're like, I'm here to get it.
We know why they do it.
And you're saying that the Perkins that's out there, and there's Ilya who's alive and exists, and there's other great 74s. You're saying that where you're like, I want all of it. I want to go against the best. I want the challenge. I want the hard battles, and I'm not here to be nice in a sports setting. I'm here to compete. I'm here to get after it. And I think that that's such a great example, because that is called competition. And I think that the reason why people want to find their inner peace or just want to have fun or whatever, which there's nothing wrong with
Because they
that.
don't want to be
And
uncomfortable.
they don't want to be uncomfortable. That's what it comes down to. Because it's uncomfortable to go and have to conquer mountaintops. It's uncomfortable to say, like, some people, they're too humble. It's good to be humble. You need a balance. You need confidence and humility. You need a balance. But some people look at Perkins and they say, I don't even have a shot, and how dare I even think to try to challenge him? You know what I mean?
Dude,
There's people that are talented that could give themselves a shot to rival Perk, but they don't even want to try because it's too uncomfortable. So that I can't align with that. I just, it breaks my heart to know that there's mindsets out there like that. I
I know
wish
what you
that they
mean, man.
understood that they had a real shot, if they just give it their all and went through the uncomfort situations and trials and tribulations to get there. So, anyways, that's, I had to say that. I felt it was important.
Dude, I think that's 100% important. I mean, I have a story. So when I first started powerlifting, back when I knew who no one was, the first powerlifter, other than like Tyler Yanez, because that was the record I wanted to break when I first got into powerlifting. He was like a random 66. He's pretty damn strong. He was a 66. He had like the Teen One record at the time. Whatever. Um, I was like, man, I want to be the best in the world at this. And someone was like, I don't know, man, because this was like back in like 2020. So this is like when
I love that.
Atwood is still running hot, you know, like he's going. I mean, he's still running hot, you know. I mean, that's nuts, but
Yeah.
he's still going crazy. He's world championship, just stacking them up, you know.
Hmm.
And they're like, I don't know, man. You got a rough start there, dude. I don't know if you're gonna do that. You got Atwood, the best powerlifter of all time, to deal with. And I was like,
Yeah.
so what? Because I mean, like when you're entering the sport, I didn't know who he was. I didn't really get why people consider him so good. So it was like, what is there to be afraid of? This is what I've been doing, this thing where I give myself affirmations in the car. I try and instill like these positive like thoughts in myself, and like self-belief and confidence And I feel like it's been helping me a lot with just like how I approach training and how I feel about training and how I feel about the future and what I'm doing here and the effort I'm putting in. This is my favorite thing to repeat to myself when I'll go on like rants and tirades. I look like a crazy person when I'm driving, but
Yeah.
I'll tell myself, who are these other people to tell you what you can and can't do? What have they done? Have they lived your life? Do they know every single training session, every single set, every single rep, every single off variable or missed training day or training day that didn't go too well? Do they know everything that went into this? Do they know everything that's going on? Who are they to tell you what you can and can't do? They have no idea what your life is like. They have no idea what you've been through. They have no idea what you've put into this. All they know is what they see online, and that's nothing. You are the only person who's lived through every single second, minute, and hour of your life with every thought, feeling, and sensation, every defeat, every victory, every sadness, every anger, every celebration. You are the only person who's lived through that. So you are the only person who can put limits and who can tell yourself what you can and can't do because you're the only one who knows. You know what I mean? So that's what
Yeah.
I've been telling myself because
Love that.
I mean, who am I? I'm just a guy, you know? My least favorite message that I get from people is that you make me want to quit. No, man.
Fucking hell,
I want
man.
to Yeah, dude, I want to make you want to start. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want to make
Yeah,
you want to
that's right.
start. I want to
That's right.
want you I don't want people
That's right.
quitting. That's no fun for me, you know? I don't know. I think I think positive self-talk in general is important. I think it's important to know that cuz like at the end of the day, like we're all just dudes. Obviously, genetics are a thing, but like, how do you know what your genetics are if you don't try, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Where do you think you got this mindset, this sort of competitive mindset? Did you play sports before powerlifting? Did you do Okay, go ahead, because I don't know how at such a young age you don't overthink. You don't. I mean, you probably overthink sometimes because like everybody does. You get emotion. You're still young, so you're gonna have to fight those emotions. But like you're pretty fucking convicted in your training. You believe in your training. You believe in what you're doing. You believe in yourself, and you're not like for being so young. Like you're very like bro. I know where I'm fucking going, and I'm gonna work hard to get there. Whereas like and that gives you such an advantage because there if another kid, the kid that goes, man, you make me want to quit, they don't even know if the squat shoes that they're using are correct or if the bench grip they're using is correct. And you're literally like, bro, I'm driving in the race and I'm going and I'm going straight and I'm fucking flying. And you're literally like, well, do I want to wear these tires or like maybe should I use this type of car or like it's like, bro, you're getting so much further ahead where they're at the pit stop and you're just lapping them. You know what I mean? And I think getting on that right path and having that conviction early on like if you had two identical people and somebody that had conviction and they did like maybe not everything was like perfectly optimized to them, but they were at like 90%. And you had someone with the best program in the world, but they were indecisive. This guy's gonna fucking smoke them every time because he believes in the shit he's doing and he's gonna work fucking hard. But yeah, go ahead. Where did you get that sort of
it
self-belief or
takes
confidence in
it
yourself?
it takes time. I'll be honest. I didn't like that's not a thing I've always had. This is
Mm-mm.
like more recent. Like I had a ton of doubt. I mean, bro, I threw up so much after Worlds. I
Oh
lost 10
shit.
pounds. I lost 10 pounds. I was
Oh shit.
anxious out of my mind. But I feel like it makes it hard to explain to people why that's why I value Worlds so much because I don't know if I would ever had this mentality shift, this view of sports if I had never experienced that. Because that
Malta?
gave me such a yeah, dude, that gave me such a sense of confidence where it's like these are the best people from every country in the world and I'm able to stand here among them and say I can hang. I can do more than hang. I can surpass and surpass and I'm putting it up, you know? I'm standing my ground. So, I mean, that helped. And then I also, you asked if I did any sports before. I did wrestling and I did swimming. Those were the two
Swimming
main
swimming
ones.
is hard.
Dude,
Swimming
swimming
is gonna teach you to go mentally to that place that you're gonna find your limit from that. Like
dude.
you're gonna push
People don't
yourself.
know, bro.
No, they don't. They're like, oh, you're just swimming.
How do you know about that?
Because I'm obviously one of my best friends at Georgie's. He played volleyball, and swimming is extremely. Chris, let me tell you guys real quick. I was in Canada with Georgie, Chris, and we're staying at this hotel, and they have this
Man, I was like,
challenge.
badminton's gonna take you to a place. I'm like, where did you?
But so one of my best friends, like almost childhood friend, he 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 played volleyball, right? And he's always had this sort of or not volleyball, it's the water polo. And
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
it's so fucking hard. But basically he like we were at this hotel, and we were staying like really high up, like the 20th floor or some shit like that. And they had this challenge, and it was like the stairway was like painted like you're going up this like tree, right? And it's like try the something steps challenge or something 20 floor challenge or some crazy shit like that. It might have been 13, I don't remember. And I was like, bro, I haven't got any steps today, like I need to get my cardio in. Do you want to hit this? You try to hit this with me? I think I said I'm gonna hit it. And he goes, bro, you about to hit the steps? He's like, bro, I'll hit it with you. And I was like, oh shit, okay. And man, when we got to those tough steps, he kept pushing. I was like, okay, this is not. He is not. He has it. He has it. The thing.
My man.
When you ran those miles, it's in football. When you run those miles, you're done, and you gotta keep going. The fucking David Goggins shit, like he has that, and I was like, brother, there ain't no. I know you've been through some shit. It's like an understood thing amongst people that have done it, where like you push yourself to pain, and now you go beyond pain to like I don't even know how I'm still going, right? It
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it's rare because in powerlifting you don't actually get to go there because it's different. It's
No.
like you're doing like
It's in a
a
different way. It's in a very different way because there's something to be said about when you go through something where you want to quit, you're thinking about quitting, you're thinking about the pain or the suffering, whatever it is that you're going through, you're thinking about not doing it no more. But then you still go when you genuinely believed, I don't have anything left, and somehow you found more, right? That experience, it changes you. It makes you realize like I can do anything I want to do. I remember I used to dread in football practices. I used to dread what we would get put through. We would have periods. My brother knows this. We would have periods in football where like there would be like at my other
the
high
shit we
school we
did
would have
then is illegal now. Like you can't
yeah
even do
yeah
it.
yeah no it was
You can't
illegal
even
no
do
literally no literally it was illegal literally
it. It
Let's
is.
and
go.
I think
Let's
Oklahoma
go.
drill got banned.
yeah, yeah. It's one of those like boomer. It's like one of those boomer like you don't understand what we went through back. Like no, it literally
No,
was
they didn't give a
illegal
fuck.
back then. Today you would get lawsuited like social media
Crazy.
and lawsuited out the window. But anyways,
Hey, bro, those
uh,
wrestlers still be going crazy though. Like
yeah, for
Yeah.
there
sure.
be people dying trying to
Wrestling,
get
you're
in.
Wrestling
gonna have to
training is
go to that
insane. Yeah,
next. You're gonna have to go to
Dude,
that
you gotta go to that
next
next
fucking
level.
level. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
there's
So
three
so it's
sports. Oh,
like
go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
pretty much just saying like, and you go through like a grueling training session like on Wednesday. And you're like, I'm so my body is so dead, and you're just laying at home. You're like, I'm gonna go back to school and do that again tomorrow. I feel like I'm done for the week. I feel like I need 7 days. And you go back and you somehow you figure it out. You see like 10 people quit. And by the end of like the training camp, you realize like, okay, these are the people we're riding with, right? And I'm saying that to say like going to that level that you never thought that you could have, it does something to you, and that's what makes you elevate from the rest. And in powerlifting, I would say that there is such thing like that, but it's a lot slower
And it's
and it's a
easier.
lot longer and it is easier. But it's
It's
a
more
lot
of a
slower and it's a lot longer.
grind, like a
Like
mental, just sort
I
of
want to say something.
draining grind. Yeah.
I want to say this. I went through for many various reasons. I went through a 3-year period of not PRing my deadlift.
Holy shit.
And I
I'd
went through
lose my
that.
mind.
I went through that
It's too early for you to feel
as
that.
a developing coach, where I would see people who would quit, and my mindset was, there is an answer to PRing my deadlift. I'm going to find it out. There's an answer.
I think a
And
lot of
I
kids
found it
feel
out.
that and they actually do quit.
Dude,
A
it's
lot of, yeah,
nuts.
yeah, because in my head I was thinking, if I can't figure this out, what is my right to coach? How can I help others? I can't even figure out my own deadlift. I have to figure this out. I refuse to quit. I know I'm stronger than this. And trust me, I had those days where it was like, the fuck am I doing? But you just don't quit. I think it takes a special individual to just not quit, to figure it out. And I think that is something that's so special. And yeah, again, all of this is to say, there's too much talk about quitting in this sport, man. To all the young guns, like, you guys got to figure it out. There's an answer. If you really love what you do, stop looking at Elliot, Sykes and all these other guys and thinking, why do you make me want to quit? Why would I even? No, man, pursue your best. You don't know what your best can be. You think that you're at your cap, or you think that this is the best you're going to get. What do you really know? Do you know everything at 18, 21? No, hell no. When you turn 30 or 40, you're going to be like, brother, I'm freaking light years ahead from what I thought I knew when I was 18. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just wanted to touch on those things. It's so important. Mental toughness is something that I want to promote. Going through hard things and working through them and not quitting. That is something that I
Bro,
want to continue to promote.
at the very least, going through hard things. I mean, okay, powerlifting can be hard, but it's definitely not as hard as certain other things. But at
Not as
least
hard as
if
the
you
things we talked about.
experience that, you're gonna be better
This
as a
is
man.
That's true. This is my opinion. I think powerlifting is hard, but in a different sort of way, right? Like like with wrestling, like I did the stairs, swimming, like
It's a
you're
slow grind.
what other sport are you like going through the water? But with powerlifting, the numbers are so objective and stuff can take so long. It just like with wrestling, you can do drilling, you can do all this stuff like at home to just improve constantly. It's like there's just more it's more dynamic. There's more
Yeah,
ways to improve. There's more planes. With powerlifting, you got three things you can improve on. You got your squat, you got your bench, you got your deadlift. That's it. And if those aren't improving, then you're not improving. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a lot tougher in the terms of it just takes patience. It takes trust. It almost takes like blind faith because with the way strength fluctuates and the way that it's like just pure objective numbers, it's like, dude, I could feel like total, dude. The end of like my last training block that I had, or the one, not this last one, but the one before that, dude, I couldn't break the floor with 290. I couldn't break the floor with 290. I was like, dude, what is going
so
on?
if you don't have that belief, then you're just gonna you're gonna quit.
Elliot, Elliot,
Fold.
Elliot, Elliot, you said blind faith. Please, can you expand on that briefly? Blind faith. Why is that important in the process that you've been going through with your coach and your system? Talk to the people real quick.
Because you gotta get to a point where you don't know it all, and you gotta realize like I put this work in. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and this is what I tell people. I get DMs all the time asking me like, "Hey, I'm going into a meet and I feel like I'm scared. Like, what?" This is a quote I heard from an MMA fighter, and I forget
So
who
many good
said it,
ones.
but this is he said they asked him how does he keep himself calm going into a fight, and he says, if I can tell myself, I ask myself, did I do everything I possibly can to make this go well? And if the answer is yes, then why be nervous at all? Because there's nothing else you could have done. You know what I mean? Like,
McGregor
if
said
you're
it,
not
preparation.
exactly, if you can't tell yourself then that's all you could have done, then you got to find out what else you could have done. But if you did tell yourself that like that's all I can do, I did every single possible thing. I slept, I ate, I recovered, I got my steps in. I did my training. I hit my RPEs, did whatever it is I needed to do. If you can tell yourself you did all that, then you need to have blind faith that what you're doing is working. Because if you don't believe it, then who's going to do it? You know, if you go out there on that platform and you're like, oh, there's no way I'm going to hit this. Oh, like, obviously you're not going to lift it because guess what? It's fucking heavy. It's heavy. If you don't think you're going to lift 600 pounds, you're not going to lift 600 pounds. When I hit my PR squat in meet, 673, midway down through the rep, I started buckling. My hips shifted back and forth. If I had told myself when that happened, oh, this is it, I'm not getting it.
Yeah,
You think I would
done.
have gotten it? Nah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would not have gotten it. I would not have gotten that at all because that was hard. That was a hard lift, man. That was a hard lift. So
Yeah.
if I had let myself have any doubt while I'm under that type of weight, there's no room for doubt, dude. These are weights like even 300 pounds is a weight that could crush someone. You got to realize that, right? Like,
Yeah.
we don't realize it because like when you get as strong as you do, as we do, like even to like the normal powerlifter, it's like, oh man, 300 pounds isn't that much. 300 pounds is a lot, bro.
I can
Yeah,
relate
it's still
to this
300
so
300 pounds
much.
is,
You know what's funny?
dude.
Bro, okay, the first Arnold where I hit 744 and Tina was handling me,
I
she
knew
put
this
it
was
on the
coming.
bar, bro, because like I'm thinking to myself,
Let me tell you.
like, brother, I've never hit this
Let me
weight.
tell you.
This is before I ever hit it in the gym. I'd never hit 750 in the gym yet. And Tina puts that on the bar, and I'm thinking to myself, that is a fucking lot of weight. That is a lot of fucking weight. I'm like, holy shit. And then the doubt, it's like a fight or flight. You start thinking about, bro, what if I fuck my knee in the hole? What if some shit happens? But then once the attempt was put in, my emotion, my feeling doesn't fucking matter. That shit is on the bar. I have one option.
Gotta go.
Commit
Yeah.
to the squat, and whatever happens, happens. Either I hit it or I don't. And then, like, my brain goes through these phases. Then the logical part comes in. It's like, well, I'm trying to get 716 for a triple, so technically you should be able to hit this. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh yeah, you're right, Joey's brain. I did hit that for a triple. Let me go ahead and blow this shit up, and I fucking blew that shit up, and I was fucking hyped. But you get what I'm saying? It's like you have to. When Elliot was
Those are the
describing
best
that,
feelings.
like, I think about what I squat, and I think about like, brother, you could take any professional bodybuilder that doesn't squat and then make him try to unrack that. He's buff as fuck. He might unrack it,
Dude.
but bro, he's gonna be he might bust some shit. So it's truly you said blind faith. It is from the coaching side. It's not blind because like we have numbers that prove it. But from the
Right.
emotional side and the lifter side and the person experiencing it, it is like, fuck, like, I mean, I guess you saying I can hit this, like, I guess I'm gonna
Yeah.
hit it, and you actually
I
can
want to
do
say,
it.
I want to say that we call it blind faith, but for coaches, for the coaches that are qualified and experienced enough and know what they're doing, Jesus Christ, give me a second here, get this light right.
You're good. You're
That
good.
know what they're doing. It's blind for you, the lifter, because you don't know yet, and you need a lot of years and time to learn this and know this. But you got to think, right? Like, for an example, how many times has Joe seen a lifter fail a lift in prep and then blow past
Wait,
that during the meet? How many times? You know, like I have a lifter right now that's preparing for junior nationals. He got T-boned by a truck in
holy.
prep. He got T-boned by a truck. He made the decision to keep going, and I had to make some adjustments and do some things that we haven't done in a while. I had to pull out the bag, and today he was like, "Oh man, we haven't done this in a long time, like since the first time we started working together." And you know, he hit a very fatigued, good single for prep, and he also hit a huge squat PR 2 days ago. He was
Damn.
like, and he asked me, because he normally doesn't really do that, but he asked me, he's like, what do you think about like this week and the numbers we hit for prep? You think I'm going to be good? Because you know that's where the uncertainty comes. And I literally told him, I'm guaranteeing you X, Y, and Z is happening. This is very typical. I can't tell you how many times I've seen someone be overly fatigued For what you hit and what we know with your data, you hit now this beat up. We launch you, you're hitting all-time numbers across the board. And then I utilize data points from the past to let him know, like, for you, you're not thinking about these things, so it's blind faith. For me, I've seen this in your data, I've seen this in your training. We've repped this with so many athletes before and styles that we peak athletes and things of that nature. You know, it's not blind to us. We know what we're doing. For you athletes, like you said, trust. And you also go back on, I've been working with this coach for X amount of time. Every time we go through a process, we've done, like for you, Elliot, you progressively are getting better. So why would that stop now? If every meet something's improving, right? And there's little knickknacks maybe with this or the deadlift, whatever, and you guys fix it. I see you guys fix it. So it's like you constantly, if there's mistakes, we fix it, and we constantly are getting better. What room is there for me to question anything? So really, if you think about it, it's not blind faith, but we call it that because we just, at the end of the day, it's just about let the mind off, go to work, let your system and your routine collect, and show up, and then watch what that hard work creates on the day. And yeah, so
I'm
Dude,
a.
my
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you go.
go ahead,
So my
Elliot.
two favorite stories for prep relating to that, bro. My first 600-pound deadlift, bro, that was one of the most mentally stressing things I've ever gone into the prepper. I had been doing singles and singles. I was hitting like 545 doubles, 565 doubles. I was hitting numbers. I was like, man, I feel like every part of me can deadlift 600, but every time I loaded like 585 on, it just gets so much harder, so much
Yeah.
harder. And then I finally got 585, and I'm like, man, that flew. My last single of prep, I'm like 2 weeks out. I load 600, I get it to my knees, boom, right back to the floor. And I was so mad. I was like, man, what happened? I'm not gonna deadlift 600. I've been working so hard for this all year. I've been hitting these numbers. I know I can do it, but like I'm just failing. So I get to meet day. Everything's moving. And I'm like, you know what? Let's send it. And I load that 600 and
That's right.
it zooms. It zooms. And I was like, dude, what happened? What what
Yeah.
what even happened, man?
Yeah.
I have no idea where it came from. And
Same
that's I
question,
tell
different result.
dude. And I had another one of Adam's athletes
Yeah.
this week. She failed. Her name's Imogen. She's a 76 from Australia. She failed almost every single in her prep. Not every single, but she was failing pretty consistently or like
Yeah.
overshooting pretty consistently into the prep. She's like, man, I feel like these are numbers I should be able to be hitting, and it's just not
Yeah.
going. She goes in the meet, boom. Like people are reposting her on her story. That's not a third attempt because it was just moving so fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's nuts. And then like for high school nationals, this is my favorite one. I had the worst squat singles prep of my life. So I had tripled like 280.
Hmm.
My last single
That's
of
insane.
prep was like 277 and it moved at like a 10. I texted Adam after. I was like, dude, I like broke down after that set, dude. I was pissed. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I feel like I couldn't even squat 280 right now.
Yeah.
What is going on? And he's like,
Yeah.
dude, trust me. Trust me.
Yeah.
So we get
Yeah.
to meet day, and he gives me the numbers that I'm gonna hit. And the squat's 282, and like obviously that'll win me. But I'm like, man, that's only 2.5 above my best triple. Like that's like
Hmm.
really disappointing. Obviously the triple was a grinder, and like I'm
Yeah.
sure like let's be real, I wouldn't have like 30 kilos over it, but I expected a lot over it. You know, like a significant amount, not 2.5.
Yeah.
So I'm going through the attempts. I'm kind of lackadaisical. I get to my second attempt. I'm like, man, that's moving pretty good. I load in the 282.5. Boom! Flew. Felt like a
Launched
first
it.
attempt. And Adam
Yeah.
DMs me. He's like, bro, you could have loaded 290 plus right there.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, I'm never doubting you ever again.
Pull
Okay.
that fatigue off, baby. Yeah, man.
Because you
Yeah.
never know. You never know. You really never know. Well, the coaches know. But the
where
athlete, you're not thinking about it. You're in it.
Yeah.
and that's sort of the being at my age and where I'm at now, looking at you, it's like, man, it's so cool to see you kind of experience that for the first time and kind of go through that. And I'll talk about me and Russ real quick and kind of Jesus, and then I'll ask you some questions because I know it's getting late. At
Yeah.
Sheffield, everybody was asking everywhere I fucking went the week before because I was there early. Like, are you guys nervous? Are you guys gonna get it back? Are you gonna beat Jurgens? What da da da, right? And I was like, I didn't have any emotion because I was like, bro, we had the craziest fucking prep ever. This is, we're gonna go, we're gonna pop off, right? And Russ had his best meet ever. And that first Sheffield, Jesus had this sort of, he had this like confidence. He had this like, motherfucker, I'm about to blow some shit up, and he did that. And it was, I think as a coach, that is getting my lifters to kind of graduate and get to that point where they're like, I had this in training, I had this in training, I had this in training. Like, I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to worry about. My execution is flawless, and this shit is as good as done. Now I just got to do what now I get to be fresh and hit my numbers that I already hit in the gym when I was beat to shit. Man, this is gonna go smooth, and I think that confidence just kind of makes you unstoppable. Um, do you look at lifters like Taylor who are, in your weight class but like way older and think, wow, I actually have a lot of time left before like I even get close to my peak, right? Does that excite you to make you feel like what, like, dude, if I play this right, like
Yeah.
I could blow that out of the water.
Yeah.
Dude, absolutely. Because I was listening to Perk's King of the List podcast yesterday. They started talking about Megan Scanlon. They started talking about like the juniors, and they talked about Alba, I think it was, and they're like, yeah, she's got like 20 years left in the sport. Like, she's got so much time. And then I started thinking, I was like, man, I'm younger than Alba. Wait, how much time do I got left? And like, it hits me. It's like, dude, you got more years left than you've been alive,
That's insane.
right, bro?
Perspective.
I'm
Look at that.
38.
Young gun. Put the
How old
perspective.
is Atwood? How old is Atwood?
Like
Like
36,
30.
I can
35,
find out. I can
34,
find out.
35. Between 34 and 36.
Yeah, he's like 36. Dude, I got like 17 years. Yeah, just about like 17 years till that
I
I
mean,
hit
in
that,
20 years, you'll be
bro.
39. And you got
Yeah,
Tony
bro.
Cliff, who's out here in the 120s pulling up
It says
IPF Worlds every
35.
year.
Yeah, bro. Like,
Wait,
that's so much time.
36 going on 37.
Yeah, bro. That's nuts. That's nuts. I have an unbelievable amount of time, and like it hits me. It's like, dude, forget about how much time I have left in the open, bro. I still have all years into juniors.
Yeah.
I have till like 20. I think you age out when you turn 24, right?
Yeah,
20.
the year
It's
that you
23.
You
Yeah.
turn
the
24.
year that you're gonna turn
Yeah.
24, but like
Yeah.
usually
Yeah.
is you'll be 23, and like on the
He'll be
last day
23.
of the year you're 24, so you're 24 that year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
screwed.
Like Joe Bornstein, bro. That's it's so cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
like,
do you? Go ahead, Elliot.
I have till 2030. I got another 5 years till I age out,
Just juniors. Yeah.
dude. Just juniors.
The
Just
future is
juniors.
bright.
It's
Yeah,
like,
that messes my head up to think about that.
and
2030.
it occurs to me like I've been putting so many expectations on myself in prep. Like, I'm like, man, I gotta hit this now. Hit this now. I gotta be this and this and this. I want to hit 800 right now. I want to hit this. I want
Elliot,
to hit this ridiculous total hit set. And like recently, it's kind of been coming to me. It's like, bro, I could hit this in like 3 years and it'd still be like never done before.
Elliot, I want to say something real quick because you mentioned it. You said that you put this expectation on yourself. Something I think is very useful for athletes out there. One of the things that I really like to tell athletes is when I was playing football or when the beginnings, years ago when I was powerlifting, like in the beginning when I would say, I should be doing this, I should do this, right? Or in football, when I would try to make the play versus trying to just, or actually doing my job, right? when I would try to force a tackle, force an interception, whatever, right? Or in powerlifting, when I'm trying to force a PR, when I'm trying to force progress, when I'm trying to chase big numbers, right? Every time I've tried to force something or set expectations on myself like that, that was unhealthy or just incorrectly thought of in a wrong manner, or not the most precise or effective way, it didn't pan out the way that I hopes would have for. But when I would just focus on what if I just do my job? What if I just like in football, right? When we talk about playing defensive end, you put your hands on the outside shade. If something tries to run outside of you, you plant your foot on the floor and you take a beeline straight to the sideline. You run outside shoulder of the athlete. You maintain containment. Just by doing that, do you know how many times I've gotten a sack, I've gotten a tackle, and with full effort, it forced a fumble? I wasn't thinking about forcing a fumble. I was thinking about just getting to the destination and doing my job. There's been times where I force a fumble, cornerback picks it up, runs it back to the crib. Now my team's up after a tie game. So now to relate this over to PR or powerlifting, I want a PR. I want to get stronger. What if I just eat right, sleep right, listen to the plan, be as best as soon as I can, ask questions, execute exactly as being told, continue to refine the process, do the same things over and over and over and over and over correctly. Do it correctly. Make sure I'm doing it correctly. Speak with my coach doing that. And then all of a sudden it's like constant PRs just from doing things right and not chasing or forcing, right? And setting unhealthy expectations. I just kind of wanted to paint that picture real quick to kind of explain the difference versus how do I get stronger? How do I get success for long term or fast success? The way towards getting fast and long term success is not trying to chase it, but just doing your job for a long time and watch what happens.
I think one thing about
Go
powerlifting,
ahead.
and then I'll shut up, is like you have lifter coach, lifter job, coach does coach job. Together you get thing, right? Right? With flex, let's say we go to a meet and I have like a million coaches. Joey is gonna do this thing and oversee these things. Grant, Chris, and Mikey are gonna help with these things. Will's gonna work on these things, and everyone is gonna do their thing, and everyone can count on everyone, and that's how we could like handle fucking 5 people or 6 people at Sheffield, right? Like it's like a football team. You have the offensive coordinator, defense coordinator, head coach. You have the position coaches, and the position coaches are working on the little, hey man, on that route you should have pivoted your foot this way. Try to beat him on this, right? And then you have the defensive coordinator that's going to hit it with the more broad approach. And then you have the head coach that's going to be like, is the theme of what we want to happen to win this game? Is that what's going on? And I think that is so, if you look at powerlifting like that, like I haven't really had handlers like too often, other than like Tina, and then like really early on in my career, I had Matt Gary help me, um, and in those times, I've literally just tried to be like, my job today is just to lift weights, and I'm not gonna step on their bubble of like what they're supposed to be doing. I'm just gonna do my stuff, and I think having that blind faith, right? Having that confidence in your process and your coach and the individual that's helping you. I mean, if you have that, it's really going to allow you to sort of deal with what you have to deal with and just express yourself on the platform and as a lifter, like at the world level, which you have been able to do at such a young age. Like you are a manifestation, Elliot, from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of champions in my day, and you are the manifestation of your time. Like you believe, like bro, I deserve to be here. I have the right to be here, and I'm here, and you are literally doing that thing. You're one of the few kids. You and Joe have this, and I need to talk to a couple more youngins and see who the next ones are gonna be. But to have that sort of conviction early on, where you're like, yeah, like you could lose, like anything could happen, but you still believe in yourself, and you still say, I saw this fucking clip the other day, and basically the gist of it was, it might not be this. What did Moreno say? Maybe not today. Maybe not
Maybe
tomorrow.
not
Not
today.
I
tomorrow.
Maybe
promise
not
you.
tomorrow. So
One
today,
day,
I go
I'm
to
gonna
the
be fucking
champion.
champion. You know what I
And
mean?
he was one of the best champs of all time.
Bro,
I'm not
oh
gonna
my
lie. I'm not gonna
god.
lie. When he became champion, I don't even care. I'm okay with admitting it. I cried. I cried.
Bro,
I
bro,
cried.
he
Get out
still
my
got it
house.
too. He still got it
You
too.
guys know that
Coming
meme
soon, I
of
think.
you guys know that meme of Vince McMahon when he was like,
Yep, I'm listening to the music in my head right now when you're doing that.
that was me when when he
When
won, bro.
Brandon Moreno.
I was like,
That was so good, man. And he likes
that was
Oh,
me.
Legos. What's
Oh,
up,
he likes
hey,
Legos?
let's go,
Legos.
let's go. Oh,
Yeah.
I
Brandon
don't
Moreno is a
I
goat,
don't
bro.
I don't have too many more questions. I have one question, Joe. Do you have any more questions? I
Nah,
have
I'm
one
straight. I don't.
question.
I'm. I'm good. I just wanna.
All right,
I want you guys to get
all
y'all's off.
right. I got one question. Before actually I say this question, I just want to say,
Bottleneck.
Elliot Sykes,
Bottleneck.
I think that you're amazing. Is that what you want to? Is that something else you want to
That
talk
was the
about?
last thing. Yeah, but go ahead, Chris.
Oh, then I'll save it. I'll save it all. Go ahead, Joe.
Ellie,
Bottleneck.
you wanted to talk about the bottleneck real quick. I do believe that some weight classes are incredibly,
Ah,
like in
dude.
gaming world, we call it sweaty. Like, brother, you don't even, bro.
The 83s, bro.
Anybody
93s.
anybody can fucking win. And some of them you have it at Worlds and you have it at Nationals. Um, I don't know if other countries have like for a lot of our lifters, like their hardest fight was Nationals. That's their hardest thing. I do think the Worlds is getting there. I'm thinking about Anthony McNaughton. I mean, I think he's just gonna pop up.
Oh,
I think
Bro,
he's so
he's not
good.
real. He's
He's
not
so
dog.
good.
real.
I think
He's a
he's just gonna
dog.
pop off. McNaughton, who do we got this year? McNaughton, dog. Joey Bones, dog. Keiko,
Oh,
Dog.
dog. You know what I
Bro,
mean? It's
I
like,
watched I watched his Kodo interview, bro. Anthony McNaughton might be another one of my faves, bro. Because like I remember, bro, what was he saying to Ryan? He was saying, "Let me rock." That is so tough, bro. I fuck with that so heavy. Let
let
me
me rock.
rock. Let
Let
him
me
rock,
rock,
bro.
baby.
Because
Go
that's what
ahead,
he's
load
gonna
it up.
do.
Let me rock.
That's
Give me
what he's
that.
gonna do.
I told him before that meet, I was like, brother, I think I believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And then after he was like, you believed in me, and I'm like, brother, yeah, you got this. Like, but that's that thing. Like, we're so used to you see him do it in the gym, they're gonna make it happen there. I know All I know is if Joe doesn't win, it's gonna be like when Russ lost, and I had to just feel the weight of
Take
the
it.
entire year of just you roasting us. We gotta handle
Oh
business,
man.
Joe. We gotta handle business.
But yeah, I think so. Here's my take on the
Are they somewhere
bottleneck.
like
Plotting.
Yeah.
yeah scheming? He like
Yeah. Hold on.
right here, right here.
Go ahead, Elliot.
Uh,
What did you mean by that?
My opinion on the bottleneck is I think at some point it'll get to the point where we can get multiple representatives, but right now I
Hmm.
feel like it would just be such a blowout for the US. Like I
Oh
think the
yeah, yeah,
US
yeah.
could possibly sweep some podiums. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like and like that's like maybe it's fun for me to watch because I'm American, but
They
that's
wouldn't
not
let
fun
that
for
happen.
anybody else to
They
watch,
wouldn't let
bro.
that happen.
Right? Yeah,
They
yeah.
would never let us do that.
Realistically, realistically. But yeah, that's my opinion. And I'm one of the people that suffers the most, bro. Because honestly, the way I feel right now, I feel like if they let me go to Worlds, maybe I won't be perk yet.
But
But
I'll
I
get
think
on
I'm
that
beating
day.
everyone
I'll
else.
get on that
I
podium.
think I
I'll
think
get on
I'm
that
beating
podium.
everyone else.
I'm getting on that
But
motherfucking podium.
um.
what was your
All right.
question, Chris?
So pretty much my last thing to say: one comment and one question. I think that you're great for the sport. I think that we need more athletes like yourself. I think you're
Competitors.
good. I think you're yeah. We need competitors. You have a great mindset. Um, a great work ethic. You're an awesome young man, individual. Always fun doing these podcasts with you or talking shop in the chats or whatever. Seeing you in person, we had a lot of blasts at Malta. doing your thing. We need more athletes like yourself in this sport. Kudos to you and your coach, everything you guys are building. And yeah, just appreciative for your time. And one thing I want to say is, or ask you is, um, what is his name? South Afrikaans. Edie, uh,
UFC fighter
uh, uh,
fighting Chimaev.
yes. What's my man's
Fucking
name?
Duplessis.
Duplessis. Duplessis. I just need to know this. Duplessis or Chimaev? Who you got?
Plessis all day. Plessis all day. That's what I'm
Why?
saying, bro.
Well,
This is
why is that? Tell me why.
Break it down. Break it down.
Hey, bro. This is what I think separates Plessis, right? One, I mean, like,
Gas tank.
who beats Adesanya? Like, there's a list now, but like,
He beat the brakes off of
I
him.
don't know, bro. He beat the break. Like, it's
was
not like he
fucked
just
up.
like grappled him, bro. He stunned him and then submitted him. Two, he won a decision with Sean Strickland. That's already crazy. Let me
Strickland is
say.
The way that he
is tough.
adjusted, the
Decision.
way that he adjusted his game plan, like what he adjusted throughout the fight, and then towards the second half, he actually made a huge, some great adjustments and won that fight. It was some hammers, but it was also smart, calculated. He changed his plan, and I have a lot of respect for that.
That's what I think. His game planning is next level. He adjusts so well. He plans so well. Like there's so many fighters where I watch them fight and I'm like, dude, like you could have won this if you would game plan properly. Because
Yeah,
like is a thing of styles make fights. And like you don't
yeah,
gotta like you can use your style in so many different ways. You can be so dynamic. And I think he's one of the newer gen fighters that game
yeah.
plans like that.
I don't think
And I
that
think
Chimaev can come in and bust a Gilbert Burns. I don't think he
right.
can do that. If he
I
does
just
that,
don't.
just comes in
That
swinging and
was crazy, dude. I thought
That
that
was
fight
such a good fight.
because he wanted to be like that. He wanted to scrap. That elevated
yeah,
Burns a lot. I don't even know Burns was
yeah.
that good, but like, bro,
No, he's pretty good.
he's
Coach
good.
Hold on.
was
But
Hold on.
after that, he
no,
got
Burns
like,
is nice.
after that, he hasn't been, bro. That was like a couple years ago, right? 2 years ago, 3 years
That's
ago.
true.
He
True.
he
But he was
hasn't
pretty
done
good, bro.
because like think of Chimaev's level now. I don't think Burns was
Yeah,
scrappy,
that's
but
true.
like when he fought Usman and lost, like bro, he just got boxed. Like I don't know if you
Yeah,
watched
that's
that.
kind of true. That's kind of true.
Yeah, he
After this pod, I'm gonna go play Dagestani trap music as I cook my dinner.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, bro. But
Hey, this was a really fun pod. Elliot, you're the best man. Can't wait to see what you do in a couple weeks. I'll be there with the boys, and
I'll see you there,
yeah,
bro.
I'll see you there, brother. All right, Chris. Have a good night,
Thank you
guys.
guys.
Yep.